Okay, hi everyone. Good evening and welcome to today's webinar with Study Now. My name is Oluwatoyin Oluyemiwo. I'm the admissions manager for Study Now. And joining me today is Samuel Toloroko, and together we're going to be taking you on UKVI interview preparations. Samuel's going to be taking the few parts of explaining about preparation documents, while I'll be taking the other part on how the process of your visa application turnaround time works. So I hope that it will be the few minutes will be very, very educative and informative. So I will be letting Samuel take on the first slides the of today's program. Yeah. So Samuel,
Yeah.
over to you.
Don't study later!
Welcome to the Study Now Fair, your gateway to global education. Happening live at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra, Ghana, is the ultimate opportunity for students dreaming to study at York St. John University and other prestigious institutions around the world.
As you all know, Study Now has been in the business of helping people study abroad in the UK, US, Canada, Australia, and some other part of the world for free. This is what Study Now has been doing for the past 5 years, as I said, successfully posting people to study abroad.
Meet university representatives, explore scholarship options, and get expert guidance on admissions, visas, and career pathways all under one roof.
Today I was very surprised when I was mentioned the winner for the Study Now UK scholarship. I must say it's caught me off guard because I didn't expect it. I'm very glad for the opportunity given to me to further my education in the UK, and I'm very thankful to Study Now UK for giving me this opportunity.
Okay, welcome back. Samuel would start the presentations with how the documents needed for your UKVI application. So Samuel, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony. So welcome everybody. So as you can see on the slides here, like the document needed for your application, you need your passport, that's your international passport, having up to like six months spaces like for you to like apply during this period. So your CAS, that's the confirmation of acceptance of your study, got it from your school. So without the CAS, you can't process anything visa or any application. Maybe after you've gotten your offer and everything, you must have your CAS. So academic document, that's your financial, your transcript, your degree certificate, and every information stated on the CAS. Also, your proof of funds, that's your bank statement showing you have money in your account, like for 28 days upward to 30, 31 days upward also. So your TB test also that's one of the major and very important documents you must have if you're processing anything visas to the UK. So for the ATA certificate, it depends on the course you're doing. Most time is for like courses maybe project management or maybe some engineering courses also. You need ATAs. So parental consent letter, that's if you are under 18 and you're using your parents' bank statement, you have to show that you are providing this statement from your parent. That will show that okay, they are the one taking care of your your maintenance to the UK and every other thing. So to the next slide, please. So break down the meaning of the CAS. That's confirmation of acceptance of for studies. So without your CAS, like I said, you can't process your visa application. So like it's showing your CAS is your official letter from the university. So that means once you've paid your deposit, you get your CAS to process your visa application. So the information on your CAS must correlate with whatever document you are providing. That's your passport. It must have the same name according to what your passport, the transcript, every details must be correct on the CAS. So in this kind of scenario, if it's not that correct, you have to reach out back to the school and issue an updated CAS. So the third place you can see CAS must match your documents like certificate and transcript. Like I said, your documents must have your name and every details correct. Also, the passport check. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months after your course start. Now, let's say your course is starting September, so it must be valid at least after the course start. Let's say September, but at least you must have enough months ahead, like can contain for that space and the rest. So your name, make sure your name, date of birth, and passport number match your class. Yeah, like I said the other time, if your name, date of birth is not correlating with what's in your class, it's always an issue, and we have to like go back to the school and ask them for another class. So damaged or unclear passports, yeah, it may cause delays in your decision from the UKVI. So most time, you always want students to get a clearer version of their passport, like a clear copy. So according to this slide here, these are the information needed to submit back when processing your visa, like your transcript. It must correlate with every details on the CAS. Your degree certificate must correlate with the information here. So like it said, they submit all certificates and transcript listed in your CAS. So we have to be sure. Most time you can see in this information, you can give like submit your ATAS or other certificates. So this is where we get information from, like document to submit to the UKVI. So full academic transcript shows all modules, grades, and awards. If not in English, provide an official certified translation. That's maybe someone not having a certificate in English, but trying to get because you have to like break down the information on the certificate. So we always ensure that students provide such documents also. Also, your TB test is required. It's needed for you to have up to 6 months in some certain countries. Yeah. So certificates must be valid at time of visa application. It's so for your visa application, you can't provide an expired TB test certificate. You have to get a functional one that is still active, updated TB test also. So except if you are a diplomat UK resident within 2 years. So next slide, please. For your work history, you have to provide references that will show you've been working from your your degree year. Okay, let's say your degree states December 2023. You have to provide reference from that moment. Let's say 2 months upward. That'll be January 2024 till the current place you're working. So we always ensure our students provide the references based on when they finish their degree, university, degree certifications and everything. So till date, like let's say you passed out December 2023, you're getting a reference from January 2024 till date. Even if you worked in several places, your offer letter can cover for some gaps, why maybe some past place you've worked, and why some can cover for like maybe your current place of working. So, like it's the gaps over 6 months must be explained. Yeah, either study or volunteering. So also work we always watch for fake references, maybe whereby misspellings or missing contacts also. Next slide, please. So the proof of money, it's not your slide. Okay. So for the proof of money, you have to provide 28 days bank statement. So you must show you have enough tuition fee to cover 9 months of your living costs. That serves as a maintenance and other fees added to what you're to have before traveling to the UK. Money must stay in your bank account for 28 days. Yeah. most time we do ensure our students keep their account running even after they've done their biometrics, because most time KVI likes tracking back, like provide documents from a particular date to a specific date. So we always ensure the money stays in your bank account 20 days and over. Bank statements must be less than 31 days. Yeah, say that. So your bank statement must be 20 days upward. Even after your biometrics, you must keep them running. If using parents' account, provide birth certificate and consent letter. So, like I said the other time, under 18 and maybe most time you can use your parent statement also, even if you are over 18. So, but you must show your birth certificate and consent letter showing you are using their bank for their maintenance and other fees needed. Next slide, please.
Next slide has to do with the application status and the processes. But before we jump into the next slide, I would like to give a brief rundown because even after everything that was said, I realized that we have Emirates students who also go with their families, and I'm sure that you also wonder, oh, what documents do I require? So let me just give a brief recap of what Samuel Toloru Logo has said. First off, you will be needing your BSE, your transcript, your WIEC. Now, your WIEC is that it has to be nothing less than C6 in English. Even if you failed all the other subjects, ensure that your English is C6. It can also be your NECO, your IELTS, ensure that you actually pass the minimum English requirements, right? Then you also be needing your TB test. Your TB test has to be valid for 6 months. It expires every 6 months. So once it's about to expire, if it has 2 days validity or 3 days, note that it's best to go and make another TB test. You will need your international passport. Also, your international passport has to be valid for 6 months after course start date, or from your course start date, not 6 months before your course start date. You will also be requiring your NYC certificate for those who have served. For those who haven't served, you will be requiring your employment letters. That goes for everybody, right? So if you're serving currently, you'll be needing a reference letter from your current PPA. If you're not serving and you finished your NYC and you're working, you will need to cover the study gap after your BSc certificate. Now, if you're going to cover your study gap, it means that you'll be needing your NYC certificate and an employment letter from all the places you've worked after NYC, and a reference letter from your current place of work. I'm going to take that again because this is a very important document that you require. You'll be needing your NYC certificate. If you finished school, you served, and you're working, you will need your NYC certificate. You will need all your employment letters from everywhere you have worked after NYC, and a reference letter from your current place of work. So I'll give examples. If you have worked in two different places, you would have to provide the two reference employment letters from those two different places, and you provide a reference letter from your current place of work with your NYC certificate. The reason for this, because I get questions like, oh, is it compulsory? Is it necessary? Oh, I don't have this document. You will need that because you need to prove to UKVI that you haven't been idle since after you finish school. So it's more like you're covering up your study gap. So that's why you need that document. And then this, I forget, your bank statement has to be 28 days to 30 days. We always advise you provide a 30 days bank statement so that UKVI can know that it is still running. And then also, like Samuel said, you cannot pull out your proof of funds until after your visa is out. That is very important because it is risky. You can end up having UKVI come to meet you to say, oh, please provide me an up-to-date bank statement. What happens if you've pulled out your bank statement? You end up being in a fix. So we always advise to not pull out your proof of funds until your visa is out. And then yes, I think for the Emirates students, which is why I wanted to take this recap. For Emirates students, if you're going with your husband or your wife as a dependent, please note that you're going to be needing two important documents to prove that you guys have been together for 2 years. Because I noticed a lot of Emirates students for omit that part. So you'll be needing two documents that prove that you and your spouse have been together for 2 years. This kind of documents can be tenancy agreements. If you have a house of your own, where your names actually appear on the tenancy agreement together. It can be receipts of maybe TV. It can be receipts of maybe you guys bought something together, or it could even be DSTV receipts of, oh, we bought a DSTV decoder together. Just ensure your names are on that document together, and it is over 2 years, right? Not 1 year, over 2 years. Another example can be your chats. You can provide charts from a span of 2 years. We don't mean provide the charts that you have every day for 2 years. No, you could just randomly pick 2, 3 charts from the space of 2 years. That can also be another way to prove that you guys have been together for 2 years. Then also, you would also need to provide your consent letter for your spouse. Consent letter if you have children also. So, and then birth certificates for your kids. Now, like Samuel said, if you are using your parents' bank statement, you also need to provide a consent letter and also your birth certificate so that they can see your parents' names on your birth certificate, right? Also, you cannot use the bank statement of your brother, your sister, your uncles, your aunties. The only bank statements that you're allowed to use are from your parents, which is your mother and your father, right? So I thought to mention all this. Okay, so moving on, we are now going to be looking at the next slide, which has to do with the process after you have gotten all your documents, which is the visa application step, right? So once all these documents have been gathered and you give it to your visa officer, which is your VO, the next thing your visa officer does is to complete your online student application form. So when he's just your VO is trying to complete this, you'll be sent an email. The email will contain every information that you need to provide to your visa officer. The information that Samuel and I have broken down, you would get it in that email. So you're meant to provide these documents to your visa officer. Please note that when you're sending these documents to your VO, ensure that they are all in PDF forms. Do not send in JPEGs. Do not send in Word. Ensure that everything are all in PDF formats. Reason being that uploading is easier in PDF formats. And when you're sending in PDF formats, do not send them as one file. Separate the documents. Do not send my CV, BSc, passport, everything as one document. No, separate it. So it means you're sending BSc one, CV two, and all in one email. Do not send them as separate emails. It just makes it a bit confusing and clumsy. So I thought to mention that. Then also, once you've done this, you're going to also provide your parents' details. That's from your mother and your father. That is also something you have to provide. You'd also have to provide your employment history and all. So once you provide all this, your visa officer will then move on to complete your online student visa application form. Once your visa officer does this, it's sent back to you to confirm that every information on that form is correct. If you say it's correct, we then proceed for you to pay your IHS and visa fee, right? So as at today, please let's note that whatever amounts that we are mentioning now is subject to change, because remember that we're dealing with foreign currency and not naira. So as at today, your IHS is £524. Now your IHS is your immigration health surcharge. That has to do with and that's for 9 months, yeah. So after that, there's also your visa fee, and then okay, no, I sorry. Your IHS actually is £776 because it's higher, because it's for 9 months or a year, right? And then your visa fee is £524, right? Now your visa fee is what you pay. So the way it works, you can't pay the two together. You can only pay them separately. So first you have to pay your IHS fee, which is your immigration health surcharge. Once you've paid and then you've gotten an email that says your payment was successful, it will move you to the next step, which is pay your application fee. Now, when you see pay your application fee, it's also the same thing as saying pay your visa fee, which is 524. Now, I would also like to point out that I'm giving you the amount in pounds, but please note that on the side it's going to be given to you in dollars, right? So when you see it in dollars, don't fret, it's the same thing. The dollar fee as at now is 1,640 for your IHS, and 740 pound dollars, right, for your visa fee as at now. But like I said, it's subject to change. What I'm telling you now might be different tomorrow, right? So once you've paid your IHS and visa fee, the next stage is we proceed for you to get your biometrics dates, and that is there are different locations for biometrics. There is Abuja, there is Lagos. Lagos is divided into two. It's divided into Ikeja and VI, and then there is Port Harcourt, there's Enugu, and this is all under VFS, right? VFS is a body that assists UKVI when it comes to biometrics here in Nigeria. So if you're choosing Ikeja, you do not have to pay anything to walk into an Ikeja outlet to do your biometrics. If you're choosing VI, you have to pay a certain amount for to the VI to VFS VI, because you have to pay for using VFS VI. If you're doing it in Abuja, you don't have to pay for using the Abuja branch. If you're doing it in Port Harcourt and Enugu, you also have to pay. So the three places you have to pay is VI, Enugu, Port Harcourt. They collect a certain fee for using their location or their center, while Ikeja and Abuja is free, right? Yeah. So once you're done picking choosing a location, the next stage is for us to upload your documents. Now there is self upload and there is assisted service. Self upload means that you are going to be uploading it yourself. You, in sense or in brackets, your visa officer will be assisting you to upload your documents, which I always advise is better to do a self upload than an assisted service. An assisted service means that you would have to go to the biometric center, which is VFS, pay them a certain amount of money, which used to be 21,000 naira, but I think it should be more than now. When you go there, they would collect a certain amount from you in naira, and then they would help you upload your documents at the biometric center. Why I always advise that you use your visa officer is that your visa officer would upload anything and everything that is required for you to actually get a successful visa application, right? But when you're going to your biometric center for them to upload your documents, they might decide that, oh, we're just going to upload the few things that we think is important. Your visa officer will upload anything and everything as long as we believe that it is going to help aid your success, right? Yes. Then after your documents is uploaded, the next thing for you to do is attend your biometrics appointment at your visa center. Yes, and then after that, once you attend your biometrics, your visa application has automatically and fully been submitted for review. And then once that happens, you now have to wait for your decision. Right now, let's talk about the visa processing time. Now, we have three types of visa processing time. We have the standard service. Now, the standard service means that you are not paying anything, right, for your to fast track the processing time that your visa will be out. Like you're not paying UK, VI, any money for them to fast track the processing time. Now, when you don't do that, it takes 15 working days, which is 3 weeks, for your visa to come out. Now, I always advise that you can do the standard if you're applying for your visa application a month, 2 months before your school starts, right? There's no need to waste money and be paying for priority when you have good amount of time to wait for your visa to come out. And we've seen that over time, the standard service, we've seen that visas come out even before the three weeks that is actually allocated, before the 15 working days. We've seen people's visas come out before then, right? Now the next visa processing time is priority. Now the priority service has a fee attached to it, right? And it is I think 1.1 million naira, if I'm not wrong, as at now. Now you're going to pay 1.1 million naira, but it means that your visa will be out in 5 working days as opposed to 3 working days. Now, when we say pay for priority, it means that your school is probably going to resume in 3 weeks' time, in 2 weeks' time, in a month's time, and we don't want to take the risk of believing that it will come out on time, because if you do not meet the school's cost start dates, you actually have to forfeit your class. There's nothing like, oh, I will start online classes and then get to school at this time. No, if you do not meet the cost start date, it means you have to forfeit your class. So when you get to this stage, it means that you have to pay for priority. But some people like to pay for priority even when they have well enough time, because they do not want the pressure of waiting to find out about the decision. So they'd rather just pay for priority, get it over and done with. And then the last one is your super priority. Now, what super priority just does is new shop visa come out in 1 working day. So the first one, I'll take it again, is 15 working days. The second one is 5 working days, and super priority, which is the biggest of them, is 1 working day. Now, super priority should be over 2 point something million naira as at now, right? So with that one, we advise it when maybe you have a week to get to school, 3 days to get to school, and maybe you already know that yes, I can pay my flight ticket, I have everything sorted. I just need my visa decision. That's when we advise here go for super priority. Some people like to also do super priority when they have well enough time because they feel like, oh, I need this done and over with. Yeah. And then optional paid services. Now this one is saying that okay, it's not compulsory, but you just do it because you feel like it helps, makes it easy. Now we have your priority and super priority, which was what I just explained now, because you want your decisions to come out faster. Now we have the courier service. Now I'll give an example of where the courier service is advised. Usually when you get to the center, they will advise you if you want, they'll ask you if you want to do a courier service. Now, if you know that you're not in Lagos, you're outside Lagos and you came into Lagos to do your biometrics, we always advise when you get there and they ask, please do pay for courier service if you feel like, oh, I can come back again to Lagos to collect my passport. Now, if you're in Enugu, Port Harcourt, and maybe in the east and you have to go to Abuja to do your biometrics, we advise you to do the courier service so that they will just deliver your passport to your doorsteps. It makes it easy. Then also another optional paid service is your SMS, your email update service. That's if you want to. Now we have the premium lounge, we have the prime time. So recently we realized that on the site, if you're going for just, oh, let me pick a day that to go and do my biometrics, you probably might not get an early date, a close date. Now a close date means that if you maybe pay for your IHS and visa fee today, you can go do your biometrics the next day or the day after. You probably might be getting a week later. So this is where the premium lounge, the prime time lounge, the flexi comes in. Those are those optional services that you can go for to get the next day or a day after. Now, I need to point that out. The premium lounge, prime time, and flexi lounge, it doesn't say that because I paid for the premium lounge means that my visa will come out in 3 days, 4 days. No, it is those these services are different from the priority, super priority. These services are just so that you can get a close date after your biometrics, right? Which is what people are doing now. If I'm paying for the premium lounge, it doesn't mean my visa will come out in 2 days. No, what it just means is I'm going to get a biometrics date a day after I pay my visa fee, or 2 days after I pay my visa fee, as opposed to what is on the on the VFS site if I don't pay. So I would like to also make you guys know that there's a difference, so that I know I've gotten people come to say, oh, if I pay from the premium lounge with my visa fee, will my visa come out in 2 days? No, it's very different. Super priority and priority is what makes your visa come out in 5 working days. Is what makes it come out in 1 working day. That's if you actually are trying to make it fast track it. If you're not trying to fast track it, this other service, premium, prime time, flexi, just means that your visa, your biometrics is going to be earlier than what it's supposed to be. That's the difference. So yeah. And then after submissions, we always advise that you check your emails daily, because UKVI may ask for more documents. You might be, and those are called they're called NSFs, non-straightforward emails, right? So now, when you get an NSF, you actually always have to be careful to ensure that you're updating your emails every day, because if you check your inbox, also don't forget to check your junk mail or your spam mail. It's very important, because it might end up in your spam mail or your junk mail. And then, because if you end up missing an email from UKVI, it can either delay your decision, or you might get a refusal. Now you might get a refusal if they're asking for um more additional documents, and then at the end of the day, you and usually they give 10 working days for you to provide these additional documents. Now if you do not provide it within 10 working days, it's an automatic refusal, right? So that's why you need to ensure that you keep updating your emails, keep checking it, keep refreshing, keep checking your spam mails. You can do it every day. You don't have to do it every 5 seconds. Every day too is fine. If you want to do it every 5 seconds, it's fine. But just ensure to check your inbox and your spam mail so that you don't miss out on important information that will come from UKVI, right? Now, this is top tips for a successful visa. The first one is upload every required document. Now, no document is useless. That's what I would like to say, right? Ensure that the most important documents like your TB test, your international passport, your bank statement, those three documents are one of the most important documents. Those three documents, if not available, can actually cause a refusal, right? If those three documents are up to date and properly uploaded, it's fine. Then ensure that your BSc, your YX certificate, NECO or IELTS, and then your transcript, all those documents that were initially listed are uploaded. If you feel like, oh, I just want to go an extra mile, if you're working and you have your ID card, you can upload your ID card. That can also help. Just ensure that all the required documents that would aid and boost your success rate is uploaded, right? And then another thing is always tell the truth on your application. This is very important. Now, I know that you come and say, oh, my counselor told me I don't have to talk about my visa refusals. This is where, yes, maybe you don't have to during the pre-cast stage, cast stage, but when it comes to your visa, you need to be as truthful as possible to your visa officer, because we've had people that have had UK refusals and they didn't mention or didn't state anything, and then UK comes back and says, "Oh, kindly provide this refusal," and then that's when they're coming out to say, "Oh yeah, that's true. I had this refusal." Those things are dangerous. They can lead to 10-year bans. They don't just lead to, oh, you'll be refused. At times they lead to ban, because at the end of the day, they're going to be asking why you didn't declare these things. So you need to be as truthful as possible. If you're someone that low-key has a spouse that went with another person as a dependent in the UK, and then it's time for you to do your application, please kindly tell your visa officer that, oh, my spouse went with another person. Don't come and hide those things, because these things are very important to us. Or if your siblings and you're deciding to get married to go as MS staff together, my point is ensure that anything, no matter how crazy it looks, crazy it sounds, please ensure to tell your visa officer, because we need to know these things so that we can assist you in the best possible way on how to go about it. Another thing is you must meet the financial proof requirements exactly. I always advise that you do not just put the exact amount, because remember that there's fluctuations in the foreign currency. So what I always advise is just try and ensure that you put a little. So no matter how much the currency fluctuates, it doesn't affect you, right? And then lastly, when your visa officer sends you your application form, ensure to proofread carefully before letting them submit. Don't just read in 5 minutes and say, oh, yes, it's correct, you can submit. And then when they submit, you now come back and say, oh, I forgot to say that you should have added this, you should have added that. No, don't do that, please. Ensure to carefully proofread before you tell them to go ahead, because it's very, very important. Now, let's look at your post visa steps after your approval. The first thing is you get an email from UKVI saying congratulations, your visa is successful. Some people don't get that email first. Some people get their collection mail first, right? But any of those either mails you get is good news. It means that is sometimes you can just see, oh, you come and pick up your passport. When you see come and pick up your passport, it means it's successful. And if you get your congratulations, you've gotten your visa is successful, they both are good news, right? Which is a need to congratulate you on your visa. Now, there are a few steps to take. First is before and upon arriving in the UK, ensure a smooth start to your studies, right? To ensure a smooth start to your studies, you create and manage your e-visa account, right? Now, there's an e-visa account now because people don't no longer use your physical BRPs. Now we use e-visa. So you ensure you create your e-visa account and manage it, right? Now, to do that, there's a YouTube video that shows you how to create your e-visa. Now, if that doesn't isn't easy, you're all added to a group. You can always ask yourselves, your what's it called, your fellow group members. I'm sure there is somebody that can guide you through how to create your e-visa portal. Another thing is you should create a UKVI online account to view and manage your immigration status, right? Even if you get your visa vindicate sticker, setting up your UKVI immigration account is very useful. The account lets you check your visa details, share proof of your visas with your university or employers, update information if needed, which means that all this has to do with your immigration. e-visa portal, right? You can do all this there so that it's easy for you, right? And also, don't forget, in-person university enrollment, all students must enroll and register in university upon arrival. Don't get to the UK and the first thing you're thinking of doing is, oh, I want to go and tour the city. Immediately you get to the UK, the next day, kindly ensure, and if you get to the UK a day before this end of your enrollment date, go to the university straight from the airport. Don't go touring the UK, don't go sightseeing, because you can actually lose your class and then you'll be deported if you do that. So immediately you get to the UK, if there's still time, go and enroll the next day. Once you're done with your enrollment, feel free, go tour the city. But if you're going to get to the UK a day before the end of the enrollment, go that same day from the airport. I know you'll be tired, you'll be stressed, but it's better to enroll and be on the safe side than not to enroll and lose your class, right? Now, what this enrollment does, it usually includes an in-person check of your documents. Be prepared to show your passport and your visa venegate, right? Also, you would have to share your code. Now, during this enrollment, the university will confirm your identity that you have the correct visa to study. They may also take copies of your documents, attend to any other international students, and then there'll be orientations, right? And then when you're going, travel and arrival prep. That's another one. You need to plan your logistics. Now, this is another thing you shouldn't forget, right? Plan your logistics on how you're going to move. Book your flight to arrive in the UK while you're allowed the arrival window of 1 month, right? And then arrange for your accommodation. That's very important, please. And then, if possible, ensure you have somewhere to stay when you land. Another thing is, please ensure to pack your documents. Don't forget your documents at home. Please, we're begging you. Don't go to the UK without your documents, because that will just be crazy. I won't like, because I can't even imagine it. But just in case, please pack your documents, be cool. Put it in your hand luggage, right? We recommend you carry copies of your CAS letter, your university offer letter, your financial evidence, and all your other important documents, right? That's very important. And then, because when you get to the UK border control, they may ask for these documents to verify your student status. Now, when they're verifying, you have to have them on you, because it is wise, so that you don't go stuttering, and then because of that, they'll be like, oh, you're not a student in the UK, and then send you back. We don't want that, please. And then lastly, know your entry conditions, right? This is because upon arrival, like I said, you're going to be met by border control. You need to be able to defend your status as a student in the UK, right? And also, do not attempt to enter before your visa's valid from date. Now, ensure that you check your venegate, right? Your venegate has when you're allowed to go into the UK. So always check that and don't enter before that, please. Don't let them deport you before you even get to the UK. That's massive crazy, honestly. Yes. So thank you very much for today's UKVI webinar. I don't know any questions. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send us messages. We'll be here to accept and respond to your questions, right? But thank you. We've come to the end of our Study Now webinar for today. I hope it was insightful. I hope you learned one or two things that you'll be able to carry through this process, right? Thank you very much. Samuel, do you have anything to add or say before we call this a close?
No, I don't have anything to add. So if you have questions and anything you want to know more about, so we're here for you. Send in your questions.
Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. We've come to the end of today's webinar. We hope to see you some other time. To have a lovely weekend. And from me and Samuel, we're saying bye.
Bye.
Don't study later.